Stop looking at what you ain't got. Start being thankful for what you do got.
On January 15th, 2009, around 11:25 a.m., as the NAMM show has started and people are coming in, a big event happens in New York City.
Likely flying near 150 miles per hour, impact with the water was violent.
Passengers climbed on the wings as the plane filled with water, floating down the river in the swift current.
This is the biggest event everyone's talking about at the NAMM show, but more is going on. AKAI Pro is there with the MPC 5000.
This is an awesome free download at akaipro.com. You can download it, load it into a compact.
So here in 2009, they fixed all the problems, and also JJOS is dead. So Roland is there as well with the MV8800 updates and some new devices. And so is Native Instruments, introducing a brand new controller. Listen to this.
So that's what we've announced, NAMM 2009. It should be shipping early March. Machine.
Towards the end of the 1990s, unless you were running a Commodore Amiga as an affordable 8-bit domestically priced sequencer sampler, the main thing bedroom producers were using was an Atari 6 running like Cubase for MIDI sequencing. Now, this would require like all sound sources to be external, like a hardware drum machine, a sound module, synthesizers, a sampler. And around this time, at the turning point, PCs were getting better and the Macs were getting pricier. And so we've got a better machine we can use to create some pretty modest audio MIDI sequencing and audio recording. Now also at this time, around 1996, VSTIs were created, Virtual Studio Technology Instruments. Now what makes this whole thing work? Programmers. We need a bunch of programmers to work together with our software design so that we can access the parameters within the reverb, a gate, make an EQ work properly, how to use the gate with the EQ and also a compressor all in one channel, and make that audio of a bass drum, a snare drum, a vocal go through there and simulate a real audio experience.
Software combination will run as a plugin inside Logic, Cubase, Pro Tools, Ableton Live.
So in 2009, on April 1st, they launched the Maschine, and it's a hit everywhere. Now, why this machine sells and it's so unique is that it's the controller.
Kit loaded in here right now. You can see I can play them on, I've got 16 pads. I've got a total of 8 groups here. Each one of these groups can get its own 16 pads, so I can have up to 8 different drum kits, mix it in with some instruments, play bass parts, keys, for example. All of these kind of things can be played right off Maschine. But the main thing we wanted to focus on was workflow. We wanted to make it really easy to get parts in. So I can get this in record mode here, and then I can really quickly enter a part. Like so. I've got quantized 50%, so if I want to tighten the timing up just a little bit, but not all the way, just add it a little bit tighter, I can do that. Add some more parts.
The controller can access everything that's in the software. No controller does that even today, except for Maschine. There's no controller for Pro Tools. There's no controller for Logic. You got to use your mouse and maneuver where you want to go. This helps you to move so much faster. Plus, it has effects as plugins. It has keyboards, bass, guitars as plugins. And in 2009, the recession is still here. So buying an MPC or buying an MV8800 from Roland, they might cost a lot of money, but the Maschine is cheaper. It will work with any computer, whether a PC or a Mac. It becomes the best option for those cutting back on cost who still want to do production. And its popularity grows. It becomes popular with Drake's producer, 40. Like in Drake's 2010 hit called Over.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm doing me.
And Find Your Love.
I'm more than just a number.
And God's Plan.
Anything you guys want in the store is free, so grab whatever you guys want.
I don't wanna die for them to miss me.
After seeing the success of Native Instruments Maschine, Roland discontinues the MV8800. It had only been in the market for about a year and 10 months. Maschine is taken over. Now for AKAI, it's a different situation. They're still selling standalones because some people don't want to use their computer for production. But they will stop making MPCs until the year of 2012, when their secret project to create the same kind of system that Maschine has launches. Then on October 1st, 2011, they launched a Maschine Micro, a brand new machine but smaller. Check out Jeremy Ellis. Lex Luger.
Yo, it's Lex Luger checking in. I'm from Suffolk, Virginia, 757. Greatest trap producer in the world. I'm here with Native Instruments at the Vintage Synth Museum. Let's get it. So just like I did with the hi-hats, I'm able to do that with my snare. I can change the octave right here.
The Maschine also improved on the software a lot, adding more of what the customers wanted. It was now at 1.8 by the beginning of the year in 2012. But by April of 2012, AKAI releases their first Maschine-like device. Actually, there are two devices. It's the MPC Studio and the MPC Renaissance. So now the battle's heating up for what's going to happen next. So what Maschine does is they make a brand new Mach 2 Maschine. Now the Mach 2 version improved the feel of the pads. Before they're kind of cheesy, but they're much better at this point. And they went from this orangey look from the pads, or more like an orangey reddish look, to become more of an RGB color scheme for the pads, to make it easier for DJs who want to use their machines at night. Made it much easier. The software also improved with version 1.8 by adding in the offline time stretch function and the ability to transpose samples in any pitch or all the samples to a pitch you want. It made it more of a old school feel and a much better sampler drum machine type sound than before. Then in 2013, they introduced the Maschine Studio. It allowed space for Native Instruments to lay out additional features. Now it had a plush big jog wheel where I can do data entry and get finer control. Standard pads sat in the lower middle, but these pads omitted any sign for like pressing shift and functionality. The pads were dedicated for being pads. By having a bigger machine, the Studio allowed for dedicated buttons on the machine. It was really great, and the great features as well. Using it for the first time was really cool, because they actually had a lot of colors in the default display. So if I hit a button, let's say for groups, that would be the color of the groups. It made it much easier to see everything on the machine. It was probably, I think, the best machine they had made was the Maschine Studio. Then around 2015 and 16, they came up with some other features and other devices. They actually came out with a Maschine, I think it was called iMachine, and that was for your iPad and your iPhone. Following everybody else who was trying to put something on an iPhone or an iPad or any other device besides that made by other companies, so people can have the software on a different device and travel around with it and go back to your original machine. But they also came out with a device I liked a lot, which was the Maschine Jam. Now, it's discontinued now. It offered an interesting addition or replacement to the standard hardware flow. I could have like different sections, which would be just like an arrange view. I could have 5 different, let's say, parts that would be this verse, and I can arrange them out and pick it and choose it again and go over different arrangements. I can pull in different features. I can set up different scale plans. It was a really great feature. I sort of liked it a lot. And in September of 2020, Native Instruments introduces Maschine Plus. This is a brand new idea for them. This is where they go totally standalone. And they're trying to get to that point where AKAI's at. Because AKAI is standalone and it's also controller. But Maschine has never been into the standalone idea. They've got to explore the idea of making this standalone computer, which is what it actually is, to use for music anywhere and on the go. They've been venturing into it, and even in this year of 2023, they've updated to have more features and to be more fully standalone. But for sure, Maschine is heading into a new direction, and the battle with AKAI is happening now.